Greetings, it is I, the Source of Infinity, and welcome to our map known as Klepto. We will be building it together, hopefully successfully, and completing it, although it may take a while. This map is, the idea comes from Cade, or Edax, as you may know him. The story is where mobs are sort of second-class citizens in a sort of steampunky industrial revolution map. And by the way, for some reason, you have bad acid trips every once in a while. I don't know why, as you can see here. If anyone knows how to fix this, please tell me, because I tried and I couldn't. But yes, those happen every once in a while. Hopefully, like maybe only a couple times, and they sort of happen, again, it happened again. They only last like 5 seconds. But yeah, back to the map. Right now, I am building a library, an abandoned library. This is going to serve as the base of the thief sort of person who is you in the story. And right now I'm just building out this bit here. The other bit is completed because I tried to record another one without the this camera mod, and it didn't turn out so well. I wanted a more personal sort of build, not just people, dubbing over what happened in 4 hours over 5 minutes. And I'm trying to maybe do a mix of both now that I realized that didn't work out. Trying to do it with you guys because I wanted, a more personal building thing, just to, have a different. Because there's a lot of these out there in the ether of YouTube, and I wanted to do a bit of a different style and more personal building of a mega build seemed to make sense. But yeah, so I'm just extending out the stuff and getting ready for this bit here, this cylinder, which I'm going to be working on for a little bit here, and I have some trouble with because I want this to be like the front of the library, and it's sort of based off like old medieval cathedrals is the style it sort of looks like, and it could very easily be converted into a cathedral, but no, it's a library is the idea, and I hope to maybe put in bits that make it appear more like a library than a cathedral. But yeah, right now I'm looking at this cylinder and I'm thinking it's a bit too big, a bit too fat, too wide. It needs to be opened up somehow because it doesn't fit with the structure of everything right now. So I'm trying multiple things to make it look decent, and you can see I look back, and even though it's only going by a few seconds, I'm actually staring at this thing for a long time, just trying to figure out what to do next, and that's sort of how I build things. Sometimes I have to stare and delete, which is what I'm about to do, because I feel like it's too high. It needs to cut off at some point, and you can see I'm going to cut it off there to see if I can make it a bit smaller, a bit less large, to maybe fit in the scale a bit more. And I'm going to go for a dome, or a half dome on this edge here, which is what I'm working on for just a little bit. I tried to do it without, a cylinder generator, but or a circle sphere generator, but that didn't work. I thought I could make it look decent just without, but no. So I decided to use one of those, and just put it together like that, and hopefully have it look decent. So I spend a little bit of time on that here. And trippy again. See, it only lasts a few seconds. If anyone knows how to fix that, that'd be really appreciated. I tried just re-rendering it, and it comes out in the same spot at the same time. So I don't know how to fix that. It'd be nice. We'll keep it in just for now, because I wanted to show it to you so you can maybe try to fix it. And I like the idea of like a long, congruous sort of camera pan instead of a bunch of cuts. I may cut more just to shorten things out. We'll see how it goes. At the very least, I think I'll lower it to 20 minutes because I'm not trying to do something super crazy fast. I want you guys to see the actual construction of it. And right now I'm going into a bit of the detailing phase, but a structural detailing, not like actual details. Right now I'm trying to like sink the dome into the outer stone brick section, just to connect it a bit, and that's what those things do. Also, I'm going for a bit of a gothic look, and those fulfill that. And I'm just filling it out, having a look at it. A bit of frame rate issues right here. Really nothing I can do about that with my computer. It's a good computer, but it'll have that problem every once in a while. And I changed it to glass, and then I tried to change it to the glass that I've been using before, the light blue. There it is. And I'm looking at it, and it looks undetailed. It looks flat. I really don't like it that much. So I try to maybe connect it a bit more to the top, as you see here. Just trying to figure out a way to make it look better. And then I decided to change all the cobblestone because it looked a bit too connected, and that's what I went with there. And now back up here, we're gonna do this this top bit here, just above it, because this needs to extend high to give a much better sense of height and scale is what I'm going for here, because as of now it's only like 2 stories, and I want it to grow very tall above the skyline so you can see it a bit further away, because it's going to be very dark and dense, and I want you to be able to see this building from far away, maybe with large trees sort of blocking the view, but I want it to be seen, this tower bit, from afar, just to add that little bit of that feeling of, I don't know the word. Well, I do know the word, I just forget in social situations where I have to talk. My lexicon is amazing, but I can never remember any of it when I actually need to use the words. In my head, though, like I can speak perfectly. I digress. But yeah, I'm also adding these pillars here again, just to give that gothic sense, and I connect it to the back because it looks a bit strange, as you can see. Yeah, right now I'm just doing connections, trying to make it flow correctly. And you can see there, I've connected it back there. And now I'm going to work on these towers here. My idea is to have 2 towers going up here. And as of right now, I didn't know what more I was going to do with it. In fact, a lot of this is improv. This building, these structures here. So I just look at it, and I figure 2 towers go there after looking at various, pictures of buildings that existed in the time period I'm going with. So I build out these 2 towers. And I continue down here. I move around from things from time to time. I don't know why. Just every once in a while, I go back and I fill something in just to look at it, to see what it adds, even though I'm working on the towers right now. And trippy again. See, this is when I first noticed it. And this one was probably like the worst. Lasted like 10 seconds. And I tried re-rendering it like 3 times and it didn't work. So again, I'm filling stuff in to get a look at it, to see what it looked like maybe at the end, even though all I have is these blank towers here. I want to look at what it, like, visualize in my head what it might look like in the end. And now I'm doing a bit of detail just to help with the visualization. And here I'm working on actual structural detail. You'll hear me say words like structural detail and terraform detail, and normal, typical, like what you normally think of in the word detail. That's because I have my own categorization of details, which I'll explain maybe in another video. But yeah, so right now we're just doing structural detail, which is like hard, sort of, not exactly like detail in the sense of like, oh, let's put a pot here, or maybe like just putting stairs and cobblestone and different sorts of things just to make it look complex. This is actual like structural, I don't know, it's like a less detailed form of detail. But it works. It's actually the type of detailing I prefer. You see, oh, and right here I'm changing the clay just to see what looks better. Concrete and clay, to seeing what I like the best. You can see I have not memorized what the what the codes for those items are. Brown doesn't work, and that works okay. But this dark one, I like the contrast that it adds. This light one is a bit too, looks almost yellow, and this black one is way too high contrast. So in the end, I did go with the darker gray, not black and not normal gray. Or normal gray. I can't remember. It's like light gray and normal gray. Yeah, so I went with the typical gray. And then I go back. Again, you see I switch between things a lot, and I'm going back and I'm changing the gray and the other everywhere else, and I'm adding a bit of changing details here. I always go back and change things. That's something I do very often, and something I actually think you should do. Unless you have everything planned out, which I don't know how people do. They build a building and it's like they never delete anything. I don't know how you do it. I'd like to learn, which is sort of what this video is for. It's for me to learn just as much as you guys to see how I build a structure like this. And you can see it's very undetailed right now, but in the end, you'll see it looks nice. But right now it almost looks bad. But it's all in the details. You could make something look bad before you shade it when you're drawing. But once you shade it, it looks good, and Minecraft's the same way. Before detail is something that can look horrible. That's why detailing is probably one of the most important skills, because you can make a boring building look interesting. I say that, you can make a boring building look interesting, but you can make a good building look amazing. And a good building is one that has a complex structure to it that makes sense, like a floor plan, right? It's not just a square, it's not just a rectangle, it's got jutty out sort of areas and heights and different verticals. And if you add good detailing to that, then it can look amazing, which is hopefully what I've done with this. It's a bit flat on this end. And you see here, I'm trying to fix it. I see the problem here. I'm trying to currently disconnect this left area that you see I'm messing with here from these towers, because I don't want it to look flush and connected, even though it's already all on the same level, which probably was a mistake on my end in just the construction, to not add this extended out or push back in or something like that. So I'm having to come back and sort of retcon detail and a disconnect from the towers into it. And in the end I succeeded, but it took me some thinking. I'm going for sideways. There's a word, and again I forgot it because I'm talking. I can't remember words when I'm talking. Here. I don't know what made me come up with this idea, but I did. And I think it looks good in the end. I change these to that just to see how it looks, and in the end I think I decided to change it to cobblestone. Yeah, I do. Just because I don't want too much two-tone of the gray and dark gray. I don't want it to be too contrasty at this point, just because I feel like it messes with the feeling. So I went with cobblestone, and now I'm putting in these windows at sort of a strange angle, and in the end I think that looks pretty okay, but it's not enough. So I come back and I try to add more detailing to it, and this final product I think looks fairly decent. It's something I've not really seen too much before, and I like it. And here I add these just to maybe, it was a bit too disconnected, the cobblestone in the back, so adding those like detailed it, but still made it look a bit more congruous. You know, it flows better, that, and that's something I'm happy with. And here I'm adding some more detail to this parapet tower here, because I felt like that seems to be how I build. If I feel like I get an idea for a detail, or I need a detail to get an idea of what to do next, I'll do it. And really I could learn how to plan better, which I think is my main issue. So if I could learn how to plan better, that would definitely improve my builds. As we have another acid trip, I am adding cobblestone at the bottom to, again, disconnect. I'm saying that a lot. I should really say something differently. But to just add a bit of detailing at the ground, just so that it's not this stone bricks coming out of the ground. It's a bit, what's the word? You can totally tell that. But I was going to say this feels unprofessional, because a lot of Minecraft people who do these sorts of things, they edit highly, and it almost feels like they're reading from a script. No, I wanted to actually give you guys like my thoughts as they are, just because I like that. I watch backstory as I just detail a bit here and try to make this look decent. Backstory. I watch BOO a lot, right? And that's the texture pack. This is his texture pack. And I like watching his building with BOO series because it's personal. You sometimes just watch him build. Sometimes he skips out the building, and sometimes he builds with it. I felt like I'd do a mix of both, where it's sped up, but I'm also talking about what I'm building. It feels really personal, and I'd like to learn how to do videos like his. I know I'm not as good, but hopefully one day I'll get there, right? And now I'm back to the building. I'm working on this, and this is going to be like sort of a bridge, as we have another acid trip, to this parapet here, which is going to be part of the main wall of the city. Those are all going to be connected. The whole city is around a massive wall for the most part. That's going to be very tall, maybe even taller than this building. And you can see here, I'm adding these doors with a bit of contrast in the wood. And there I put a sign telling me and reminding me that hopefully this will be an unlockable checkpoint, because I want this back garden area, which is my plan, to be cut off for maybe the first few bits of the game, the map, the adventure map, as we go through, because I like that idea of unlockable areas. And so that's going to be an unlockable shortcut sort of thing, where you can get to the back gardens from the outside once you unlock back there. So yeah, see, now I'm working back on this flat area here, and my idea for this is to put a little garden, like overgrown grassy area up here. I'm sure there's a word for it, a garden on a castle. But yeah, that was my idea there, and I was just solidifying that area as we have another acid trip, just so that it feels at least slightly complete and things start looking even better. And now I'm coming over here to this other flat area, and I'm trying to add those things. This is a really bad one, by the way. I'm trying to add those things that you see on cathedrals, like you've seen them in Dark Souls, right? In Anno Londo. I'm sure they have a word. They're like buttresses or struts or something, and I try to make it look good. I try a few different sorts of designs, and it doesn't work well with the scale, because this building is sort of like it's large, but it's not gigantic. It's not colossal, those struts go on like colossal sized buildings. So it didn't work out. So I decided to go for a different sort of detailing, and just a typical, not typical, but basically what I've done in other areas, and just add windows and detailings like that. I decided to add in a bit of contrast here, and then I feel like it's a bit too of a repeating pattern, so I'm about to cut out the middle here, and I'm going to add a large window instead of many multiple small windows. You see, I spent a lot of time just staring at it, moving back and forth, removing blocks, and that's you'll see me do that a lot. And here I go for a bit of a little X plus sign window there, and I feel like that's enough detail for now. I think I will come back to that though eventually, maybe. It looks okay, but yeah. And now I come back here, and I'd like to add something to this bit here. I would not like this to be a garden, unlike the flat area roof on the top. Man, these are annoying, aren't they? My apologies, but I didn't want to cut them out, because I could have just cut them out, but that'd feel like it wouldn't. Yeah, no, I just don't think it'd feel right. So hopefully you guys get them. Forgive me. And here we go back. I've decided to put like almost a roof, like a separate roof up here on this building. Like almost have it be like a separate building coming up from the top, not a tower, but an actual like another story, but very small compared to the rest of it. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes lag. I wish my computer didn't do that. It's a good computer, but it happens. And you see here I go for a little bit of a roof that extends upward sharply in one area. It almost looks like a church top, which I'm trying not to make this look like a church, but it's starting to look like that. And we come back here, and I'm just working on the roof as we pan across this tower. Just adding cobblestone here. It's very gray for now. And you'll see a massive change, which is hopefully what I hope to teach you guys is, from what I learned, is something can be completely gray, but you don't need to change the color palette of a gray toned, with a little bit of blue in it, structure in order to give it life, which I'll show you in just a little bit, how I can make this gray tone building that almost seems boring with how gray it is, into just something that looks really good with just one simple change, one splash of color, which you'll see in a second. Also, the doors have a bit of color to them just because I feel like that contrast was good. But yeah, now I'm just adding detail to this. And this looks like a good balcony hangout area, maybe overlooking something cool that we can build later. Always think ahead, which I don't tend to do. But here I'm going to put a little door here with a little archway. And this looks like as I add in the dark wood to give that contrast. I really like that. You'd feel like it'd be too much, but I don't think it is. And I add a bit of a chest here, as you can see me put here, a note for a chest there. I feel like that's a good place to maybe get some loot for the game. I don't know sort of like the details of the mechanics because Cade's going to be working on that. I'll call him Cade. You can call him Edax. Only friends call him Cade. But yes, so he'll work on the actual game mechanics. And here I'd like to put a door here, sort of mirroring the other side but lowered. And I decided to make that pathway darkwood to connect it a bit to the darkwood logs here, and the iron door, which is black iron in this texture pack. It looks better. It has its uses now. Like, I wouldn't want to use a white iron door there. I'd probably use darkwood if it wasn't for the dark iron. But in vanilla, it still looks good, and that's the point of this texture pack. In vanilla, it also looks good. And here I'm just trying to add more detail, which that building still looks flat. I could use detail there. I may come back to that. But yeah, so you can see me running around now, or flying around, just looking, trying to figure out what to do next. I do that so often. And I think here I decide to copy and paste the pillars over here, to make it feel a bit complete. And you can see here this back wall, which I'm not going to detail yet, or even in this video, because I want there to be a bridge there. You can see it's even numbers, which is no good. I don't know how that happened. Bad planning on my part, but we'll make it work. Here also looks like another good, just a nice, I feel like it'd be nice to look out from this point. And once the city's built, hopefully it will be, to have this balcony here. It looks nice, but it does need something to catch your eye, because right now it is just gray, gray, gray. Even with the variation in the stone bricks, it's gray, gray, gray. But we'll fix that, you'll see. What am I working on now? Oh yeah, I want there to be a bridge there, sort of a bridge type feeling. So I opened up that area in the back if you can see it. I know I'm flying back around. I think I'm copying the door on the other side now. No? What am I doing? I don't remember. This is like 4 hours, by the way, smashed into 30 minutes. Oh yeah, here you can see what I did. And for some reason it didn't record, so you didn't get to see it. But just this one change here brought life to the grayness of this building. Even though you can't see from the bottom, this just takes the gray away. It's very nice. I always like to have 2 different types of flowers, and I like them to mesh well together, so I went with like daisies and all sorts of other white sorts of flowers there. And there's a bit of a path that will lead to the bridge, so if people have been here, they've walked, even though it's abandoned. Which is why the grass is overgrown in that used to be beautiful garden. And now I'm going to work on this side here. Just copying from the other side, trying to get it to look right. And I changed my mind. I raised it up a bit. And I think I do change it a couple times here. Trying to make it look decent. Because it is a bit flat. It is a bit flat. We're going to have to artificially add depth. And when I say artificially, I mean not structurally add depth. Like maybe 1 layer of depth or 2 layers of depth in these areas instead of actual like parts of the building that jut out. It's very flat on this end, but that makes sense for like a cathedral-esque building like this. They have flat ends, they do, but I try to make it look as good as possible. And you can see here, this is the door from the other side. Sadly you didn't get to see me build, but that took a while. Yeah, I went with that, and now I'm trying to figure out how to make this side detailed, but not just copy and paste the other side, because I could do that, but in the end I decided not to. And here I come. I'm gonna go a bit of a copy here, but it has its differences on the other side. Ooh, haven't had one of those in a while. This one isn't that bad though. It should go away soon. And we're gonna add windows here, smaller windows than the other side. Oh, this one is bad, isn't it? I hate this. I tried to fix it, I swear. I could just record it over it, But no, we're gonna have to live with it. Us together. We both don't enjoy it equally. We both suffer because of that. Okay. And now we're gonna work on these windows here. You can see I add sort of arches there, and I like the way that looks. You can see there's 3 layers of depth there, and now I changed it up in the back to add a bit of depth, and that makes it sink in further because it's dark on the inside, so it feels further back. Even though it's only 3 layers, it adds a lot more depth than if that were to be just stone bricks. Yeah, and now I'm going to add pink flowers here. This is going to be like lilac gardens in the back here, and I'm going a bit off topic because this is supposed to be the structure episode, and next episode is supposed to be gardening and terraforming and stuff like that. But sometimes you just get inspiration and you have to go in like this, and that's what I did, just trying to make it look random. It's a bad spot here with a bunch of these weird tearing of the screen. You can see sometimes it happens twice, like it cuts and then it like, it's weird. I tried to fix it, I don't know. Now here I'm adding a door on the other side, but this door is going to be closed and it's not going to open. How you get into these gardens, I have not decided yet. We're going to have to figure that out. But now I'm adding details to the door because it's actually closed. And I'm proud of this door. Large doors can look really good, as you can see. Not to brag, but large doors can look really good, and that one I'm proud of. I like adding those sort of metal looking studs into it. It makes it feel hard, and like not just hard, but yeah, I don't know, it feels almost oppressively shut, if that makes any sense. But now I'm adding by the way, that's what I'm good at in building, is creating an atmosphere, a feeling. I could get better at just the general structure and skill of that, which is what I'm trying to do here, trying to practice more. What windows did I go for here? Okay. Oh yeah, I tried to figure this out a lot, as you're gonna see. In the end, I went for round windows, but I changed it a few times trying to figure out what I wanted. And in the end, I did go for round. You can get windows here. And I think they look okay. More detail does need to be put into that, though. Maybe a bit of cobblestone somewhere. But I do add cobblestone on the sides here, so maybe not. I like those details I'm putting in now. As you just saw, that adds a lot of details. I like that. I need to go back and change the other side to have those. I don't know what to call them, but they're there. And I go for like stair windows here. I don't know if I'm going to keep those. But they're cool. They add atmosphere when you're inside the building, but I don't know if I want to keep them. And over here again, this is a flat wall, and this is like the lowest level of detail you can do. But in some areas it works. And this sort of is going to extend onto the next episode, of where sometimes plant terraforming and just adding details like grass and leaves and flowers can make something look good even though it's a flat wall. And that's what I'm doing here, is making this flat wall look good. It's kind of lazy, but I like to have a mix of all the different levels of detail. A flat wall with just plants detailing it, or a wall with details in it, like a bunch of stairs and complex, sort of single layer of complex, sort of like stairs and walls, you know, cobblestone walls. And then I like to have like actual depth, like 3-block depth, as you can see with these windows here. And I think a good mix of those can be good. And wow, the episode is almost over. Right now, I'm just adding cracked stone brick sort of all around, because you have to remember this library is abandoned. I'm also trying to add moss brick towards the ground or where there's any plants. And I'm failing, as you can see. I don't know the commands, but I work it out in the end. So thank you for watching. Please give any sort of rating or comment that's maybe helpful. Some criticism. What do you think I could do to do better? What do you think I could do to improve this experience for both of us in any way? And please tell me how to fix that tearing, if there's any way. Maybe I should just re-download FFmpeg or something like that. I don't know. But thanks for watching. Comments are probably the most useful right now. So please leave those and subscribe if you want more. See you next time.